Tonight, if you get sick, you know what to do. You can take a pill, call a doctor, check your temperature, search your symptoms in 10 seconds. Maybe you panic a little, but you still live in a world that has names for what might be happening. Fever, infection, virus, bacteria, allergy, food poisoning. Your body feels strange, but the world around you has answers. Now remove all of that. No doctors, no hospitals, no antibiotics, no thermometers, no germ theory, no medicine cabinet, no emergency room, no idea what bacteria even are. Just your body getting hot, your stomach twisting, your skin opening, your legs swelling, your strength disappearing, and nobody around you knows exactly why. So, what did ancient humans actually do when they got sick? Most people imagine the answer is simple. They suffered, they guessed, they died. And sometimes, yes, that happened. But that is not the whole story. Because ancient humans were not just helpless animals waiting for sickness to end. They watched, they copied, they remembered, and most importantly, they stayed near each other. That might sound too simple. But before medicine was a profession, care was probably the first treatment. Think about what sickness meant back then. If you had a fever, you could not hunt well. If you had a deep cut, you could not run well. If your foot was infected, you could not walk with the group. If you were too weak to stand, you could not gather food. And in the ancient world, weakness was dangerous, not just because of the illness, but because you could fall behind. A sick person was not only fighting the body, they were fighting distance, hunger, cold, predators, and the terrifying possibility of being left alone. For most animals, sickness is private. You hide, you slow down, you hope your body wins. But humans were different. Humans made sickness social. Someone could bring water, someone could share food, someone could keep the fire alive, someone could watch the sick person at night, someone could carry a child, someone could protect a wounded adult, someone could decide that weakness did not make a person useless. And that may be one of the oldest human technologies. Not a stone tool, not a spear, not fire, care. Archaeologists have found ancient human relatives who survived serious injuries and illnesses long enough that they probably needed help from others. Some Neanderthal remains show signs of difficult lives, injuries, pain, physical limitations, conditions that would have made survival much harder alone. But some of them lived for years. That does not mean they had doctors. It does not mean they understood disease, but it suggests something powerful. Someone kept them alive. Someone helped. Someone stayed. And this changes the question. Maybe the first answer to sickness was not medicine. Maybe it was not being abandoned. But humans did more than care. They experimented because ancient humans lived inside a giant outdoor pharmacy. Leaves, roots, bark, clay, ash, honey, smoke, animal fat, cold water, hot stones, bitter plants. Some of it probably did nothing. Some of it probably made things worse, but some things worked just enough to be remembered. Imagine one person with stomach pain. Someone gives them a bitter plant. Maybe they get better. Maybe it is coincidence. Maybe it is not. But the group remembers. Then someone else gets sick. They try the plant again. The story spreads. Not as science, as memory. This leaf helped. That bark calmed pain. This root made vomiting worse. Do not eat that one. Use this one on wounds. This is how knowledge can begin. Not with perfect understanding, with noticing, with repeating, with surviving long enough to tell someone else. And this is not as strange as it sounds. Even animals sometimes use plants in ways that seem to help with parasites or sickness. So ancient humans, with better memory and stronger social learning, probably noticed much more. They did not need to know the word medicine. They only needed to notice that some things changed the body. There is even evidence that Neanderthals may have used plants with medicinal properties. Researchers studying material trapped in old teeth found traces linked to plants like yarrow and chamomile. Those plants are not exactly exciting food. They are bitter. They are not rich in calories, but they have long been associated with medicinal use. Now, this does not prove a Neanderthal doctor walked around with a medicine bag. That would be too simple. But it does suggest something important. Ancient humans and their relatives were not just lying there doing nothing. They were testing the world, tasting it, smelling it, watching it, remembering it, and sometimes using it. But here's where it gets even stranger. Some ancient treatments were not gentle. Some were shocking. Thousands of years ago, humans were already cutting into the body. One of the oldest known procedures is trepanation. That means making a hole in the skull. It sounds insane, and sometimes it probably was. But some ancient skulls show signs of healing, which means some people survived it. Think about that. No electric lights, no modern tools, no antibiotics, no brain scan, no clean operating room, and yet someone cut into a skull, and the person lived long enough for the bone to heal. But even that is not the most surprising example. In Borneo, researchers found evidence of something almost unbelievable. Around 31,000 years ago, a young person appears to have had part of a lower leg surgically removed, and they survived for years afterward. Not hours, not days, years. That means someone had to stop the bleeding, someone had to manage the wound, Someone had to protect them afterward. Someone had to help them live with one missing foot. Again, this was not modern medicine, but it was not nothing. It was skill, observation, risk, and care. Ancient sickness lived in a strange place, part body, part fear, part nature, part mystery, part group survival. If someone had a fever, maybe people used plants. If someone had a wound, maybe they cleaned it. If someone was cold, maybe they kept them near fire. If someone had pain, maybe they used pressure, heat, rest, or smoke. And if the symptoms were strange, maybe they explained them with spirits, curses, ancestors, invisible forces, things they could feel but not see. From our world, that sounds wrong, but imagine being them. You cannot see germs. You cannot see infection spreading. You do not know why one person dies and another survives. You do not know why a wound turns red. You do not know why fever burns from the inside. All you know is this: the body has become dangerous. So humans did what humans always do when they do not understand something. They made patterns, they made rituals, they made stories, they repeated what seemed to work, they avoided what seemed to kill, they watched the sick, they touched the wound, they carried water, they kept the fire alive, and maybe that was the beginning of medicine. Not the perfect cure, not the correct explanation, not a clean answer, but a group of humans refusing to let one weak body face the dark alone. Because sickness was never just about surviving disease, it was about surviving dependence. A sick ancient human was asking a question without words. Will you still feed me if I cannot hunt? Will you still carry me if I cannot walk? Will you still protect me if I slow you down? Will I still matter when I am weak? And maybe this is why humans survived. We were not the fastest animal. We were not the strongest. We did not have claws. We did not have armor. We did not see well in the dark, but we had memory. We had hands. We had fire. We had plants. We had stories, and we had each other. Today, medicine often feels like something that comes in a bottle or a building or a white coat. But before all of that, medicine may have looked much simpler. Someone sitting beside you, someone bringing water, someone keeping you warm, someone watching your breathing in the dark, someone deciding your weakness was still worth protecting. Ancient humans did not always know how to cure sickness, but sometimes they knew how to care for the sick. And for most of human history, that may have been the difference between dying alone and waking up tomorrow.